where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
That's the President of the United States boasting that he could walk down Fifth Avenue in New York City, shoot someone, and not lose any support from his supporters. And the saddest part of that statement is that it's true. Check this out. We have a president who has undermined our intelligence agencies over and over again and publicly. These are the agencies that are supposed to be keeping us safe. We have a president who mocks people with disabilities.
Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
That reporter, the New York Times' Serge Kovaleski, who has a chronic condition affecting his joints that limits flexibility in his arms.
We have a president who's had extramarital affairs and has paid the women off so that they won't tell the story. We have a president who continues to bash our free press.
What do you say the Americans were scared, though? I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witnessed, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say.
We have a president who promotes eating unhealthy junk food, fast food. And we have a president who lies and tells misleading claims so often that new jobs have been formed just to follow all of his lies and misleading information. So right now in the office, we have a man who seems to be in absolute contrast with many of America's values, the things that we think make this country really strong and make us proud to be American. At this time in 2020, even in the middle of the pandemic and everything that's going on, almost half of the United States still believes in the president and still supports him, not 100%, but 10,000%. He can do no wrong in their eyes. So it begs the question, who are these people and why do they support him the way they do? The biggest part of the president's base, it's all about, hang on, the base. Here they talk about Trump's base, the people who always will support him no matter what. Trump's base. The base of his supporters, the biggest part of the base, are evangelicals. Do you know what evangelicals are? Here, check this out.
I believe truly that Trump is appointed by God to lead this nation back the direction it needs to go.
Donald Trump has answered to our prayers.
We know that he is a godly man.
The blood of Jesus cures every disease. Psalms 91, read it.
I'm covered in Jesus' blood. I'm covered in Jesus' blood.
So there you have it. Evangelicals are people in the country here who have taken Christianity and the belief in Jesus and the teachings to a level that it really just dominates their entire life. Everything they do, every decision they make is really based on Jesus. The other part of the president's base would be old white men, old rich white men, young uneducated white men, and young men in rural communities. So that's the group that really makes up the solid part of the president's base. You know, a lot of these people feel like they haven't been heard for years. They feel like it has always been just politics as usual. And so suddenly, the reason why Trump was so attractive to so many people is because he came in as this big, angry, strong bully of a businessman from New York City, a billionaire. So he wasn't a politician. He didn't have to think about things in a political way. He could think about things more in a business way. And for a lot of people, that was a great new difference because they figured that the political stuff could go away and it would just be business. And in business, you know, people want to get things done. They don't want to waste time and they don't want to waste money. So in the beginning, it made sense maybe to bring in someone like Donald Trump as someone different, something, a breath of fresh air, we say. So the second question is, after a lot of people have seen how this man behaves and the decisions that he's made and the way he treats people, why do they still support this man in the office? Now, I will say, the economy here has been going very strong for 3 years. We'll thank the president for that. And also unemployment prior to the pandemic, unemployment was very low. So we can also thank the president for that. A lot of new jobs had been created. But there are really two key points here that are very important for especially the evangelicals and the real conservative Republican side of things. The conservative people, the Republican people, the evangelicals, they want to keep America the way it was. They want it to go back to predominantly just white people, very religious people, people fearing God, and a very traditional values: a husband, a wife, 2 children, a dog, a house, a fence outside, a car. Dad goes to work, mom stays home, makes food, takes care of the kids. They want it. They want that life back. Of course, the world has changed, and now this country is much different, and the mix of people is different. They want it back. So one of the big things with that is the issue of women's reproductive rights. For the Republicans, and especially for the evangelicals, abortion in any form is murder. They feel like if a woman has conceived a child, it's a child, it's a human being from the very second of conception. So other people in the country have more broad views and don't believe that it's a human being immediately. And so therefore we have laws that allow women in most places to get abortions. Trump is against that. Evangelicals, of course, are against that. And so that is a big issue. So even though Trump has done many things that the religious people should look at him and go, oh, he's horrible, get him out of here, they stick with him because the first one is because of abortion. The second hot topic right now, and another reason why people stick with Trump, is for the LGBT. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. So here, for a lot of people, we're very open-minded, and we just, you can do what you want to do, just leave me alone. If you want to do it that way, you can. I'll do it my way. And we pride ourselves on that. But again, the real conservative Christian and the real conservative Christian evangelicals, they don't want to have anything to do with that. They see it as a sin, as a horrible thing against God, against Jesus, against the church. So you can't have 2 men or 2 women. What's happened now in these days is that even the LGBT has grown. Look at the last one I saw is LGBTQQIP2SAA. But people are really fighting right now here in the United States to just be. I don't, maybe I'm a man, maybe I'm a woman, maybe I like men or women. It doesn't, they want more of this androgynous, just kind of openness. And they're fighting for it. And they feel like it's their right because they're human beings. But again, the more conservative and Christian people, they don't want to have anything to do with that. And Trump is also not for this. And if you can see his cabinet member, most of the people around Trump are like him, old, white, rich men who have the same values and the same ideas as the United States 50 years ago, 70 years ago. So these are 2 hot topics that no matter what the man does, the base, these people are going to continue to support him because in this country, and maybe we don't talk about it enough, the power of religion is interwoven in every single thing we do and we say, including in the government. For example, right now we're in the middle of the pandemic. I'm home in my parents' home in my bedroom here. And we're not supposed to go out, and we're supposed to social distance and everything. So here in Florida, where my parents live, they made a law. Social distance, stay away, don't go out in groups. The restaurants are closed, the bars are closed. You can't go out and do anything. However, they left an opening for the churches or the places of worship. The places of worship where people go to pray to Jesus are still allowed to be open. People are still able to go in and be together in big groups for Jesus, to pray. So think about that for a second. It's a simple example, but the message is clear. Jesus and Christianity here rules. It's lauda. It's number 1. And after people settle whatever they need to settle with Jesus, then the next decisions are made. And you really have to understand how that affects everything that people do here. So that's just a little bit of background as to why the president is still supported by half of this country in such a strong, strong manner. So now there's one last question. The third question. We talked about who, we talked about why. Now I want to talk about you. We have an election here in 201 days, where the president will either be elected to stay in office or we will have a new president. So I just want to ask you as modern, hip, cool, new, young China, would you vote to keep Donald Trump back in the office for another 4 years? Would you support him and his efforts in the United States? Let me know. I'd love to know what young China thinks about Donald Trump and if they want him to stay around. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you again soon.